Good morning, good afternoon, good technology. Yes, we're back with another video installment by Mr. Waters, brought to you in high definition by YouTube, a subsidiary of Google. Whoop! Anyway, today we're going to be working with mBlock. mBlock is the virtual shell that's going to actually produce source code for us. However, even though that sounds technical, it's the panda bear icon. So go ahead and click on that guy, little mBlock guy there. He's got a blue gear behind him. And what it's going to do is open up this display. Now this area over here is essentially the development environment where we are going to actually program our little avatar guy here. This avatar we can change. You can edit him if you want to. And in fact, you can create a new sprite if you'd like to also. So you can right click on this guy, delete him, and then right here where it says new sprite, click on that, and then there's a library of different sprites. With that said, don't spend an hour doing this. We're just going to quickly choose one, but I'll give you a moment to do that. And if you need the video to be paused at this point, just raise your hand. I am going to be the monkey. Don't ask me why I always choose monkeys. And then I'm going to drag this guy over here. Why is that not working? There we go. So you can't drag him, sorry. You have to actually just open up costumes and then click on monkey. And then I'm going to resize him a little bit because my console over here, this is the console, so this would be the development environment when we're actually using the scripts. You see up here we have scripts. The console is quite small unless you make it large. I'm going to show you how to do that too. Alright, so I like him the way he is now, a little bit smaller. Just want to make it. Why can't I grab him? There we go. Alright, I like him small like that. And go back to scripts. Now, when we program Spark over there, the robot, you're going to end up changing the board to the Me Orion, which is that. And then we're going to choose Robot. And then choose Orion Program. But for today, we're just going to get into the basics of what mBlock is and what the point of it is. And then we will review this as well. And then at the end, you're going to have a little assignment. So we're going to ignore the. Okay, so what you're going to do is go to, I believe it's events. Yes, you go to events. These are the different sort of command, I don't know, choices, I guess is the best way to put it. So we're going to begin with when clicked. So under events, choose when clicked. And then motion. Now this is where you're going to be able to manipulate this guy and have him move around, whatever your sprite looks like. I'm a monkey because I always, for some reason, want to deal with monkeys when we're writing code. Monkeys and bananas. I'll probably add a banana sprite in a minute as well. But we're going to have this guy just move around. So let's just do this basic program here. And we are programming. This is drag and drop programming. So we're going to move him 50 steps. And it's going to move this way. It's going to default to moving towards the, stay on the y-axis at 0 or wherever we are on the y-axis. And then moving positive distances on the x-axis. So we're going to move 50 steps, and then go to Control, and we're going to wait 1 second. And go back to Motion, and we're going to rotate 90 degrees. We're just going to move him in a square. And then we're going to go to Control, and wait 1 second. And so that's one section of the square. So we're going to move here, turn 90 degrees, and then we're going to try to have him move this way and turn 90 degrees this way and this way. Now there's a simple way to do this. I'm going to show you the super long way first. Yes. Okay, move him 50 steps. Go back to control. You guys should be following along with me at this point. Go back to motion. Turn 90 degrees. And you have to make sure that you wait 1 second, or it could be 2 seconds, whatever you want, or even a half a second. Otherwise, it's going to sort of instantaneously fly around the screen. Go back to move 50. Wait 1. Turn 90. Wait 1. So here we have one side of the square, another side. So we have 3 sides so far, so we have to do this one more time. Motion, move 50 steps. Back to control. Wait 1 second. And then we're going to rotate 90. And that'll be it. We're going to maybe wait 1 second. Now if we run this program, because you see where it says when the green flag is clicked, that's going to be, like in Python, we would hit the little green button and it would compile and execute in the same step. Same with this. However, when we get to actually programming the robot with the source code, which is in C++, which is similar language in terms of architecture to Python, but the syntax is a little bit different. I'm going to explain that as well. It's going to have to compile first to check for errors, and then execute. We'll upload it to Spark. And Spark's the robot, which stands for Student Programmed Adaptive Robotics Kit. Yes, I made that up, but it's good. All right, here we go. So let's click the flag. Wow. That is pretty high speed. Wow. All right, so let's maybe move him more than 50 steps. Let's try 200, because that was a tiny square. All right, let's try it again. Let's click the flag. Wow. Look at this. Oh, off the screen. All right, let's move him a little bit and try it one more time. Let's try it now. Click the flag. Boom. Look at that. That monkey is flying around the screen. Okay. Now there's a simpler way to do this, and we've worked with loops before, and essentially what we're going to do right now is work with a for loop, which is to repeat something a certain amount of times. So we're going to get rid of this section of code. Just left click and drag it over here and it'll disappear. We're going to use the repeat control, whatever you want to call it, the repeat block. And now we're creating a for loop because we're repeating something a certain amount of times. In this case, it's 4 times. Now watch what happens. Why don't you guys do that? So under control, choose repeat, change it to 4. It's doing the same exact thing. You guys should pat yourselves on the back. You just made your sprite fly around in a square. You guys are master programmers at this point. All right, so that's the way to create a square. So I'm going to now create another shape. We're going to try a triangle. So let's try that as a group. So we're going to repeat it 3 times because there are 3 sides to a triangle. And we'll move 200 steps. But the first thing we're going to do is rotate. So let's go back to motion. And we're going to turn 45 degrees. Then we're going to move 200 steps. And we're going to wait 1 second. And then we're going to rotate 130. See, wait. 45, 135. See if this works. And then we're going to move 200 steps. And then we're going to turn, oh no, sorry, wait 1 second. going to turn 45 degrees. And in this case, we're not going to use a repeat. Otherwise, we're going to fly in triangles 3 times, so we can get rid of that guy. And we're going to put a wait 1 second here. Intercepts, and then turn 45 degrees. Wait 1 second. So first thing we're going to do is turn 45 degrees, move to 100, and then turn 135 degrees, which will face us the other way, and then turn, I think it's another 135 degrees now that I'm thinking about it, so let's try that. And we're going to move 200 steps, and let's just test it out. Cool. Kind of made a triangle. Alright, so if you wanted to do successive triangles, let's start over here and let's turn this guy, he looks like he's 45 degrees off kilter. Let's turn him, no, let's wait 1 second. And choose 45 degrees. And first thing we should do, let's just change it to 45 degrees here to reset him. Alright, so he's at 0. Let's move him over here. Get rid of that. And now we're going to do 3 in a row, and he'll move slightly because we had some overlap there. But let's see, repeat. We're going to do 3 triangles in a row. Alright, let's try it. Boom. Oh, you know what? It's going to be messed up. Let's try it though. Oh no, it worked. And that's it. There we go. 3 successive triangles. Well, you guys are now masters at programming this. So what we're going to do now is review what the code's going to look like when we actually make the program for Spark over there. First thing you're going to want to do, if you haven't done this yet, go to Boards in the file, in the ribbon up here, and then choose Me Orion. That's the kind of board we're working with. It's an Arduino Uno, but it's a robot version. So it's not the Arduino Uno, it's Me Orion. And then later, when we connect the robot, you're going to choose serial port, and then whichever one the robot is connected to, that's a USB port. That's where you put your flash drives. Alright, so then choose Orion Program. And then a couple of things. We have 2 motors on it. There's a motor 1 and motor 2. We can choose speeds anywhere from negative 255 to positive 255. Now negative 255 will put the motor in reverse. So the first thing you're going to want to do is change M1 to M2 here. And in our case, M1 is the left motor, so the left tank track on the left side of the robot. If it's looking forward and you're behind it, it's the left motor is M1 and the right motor is M2. So if I wanted to spin it, I would choose 100 and then negative 100. So that's going to make it turn. And if the left one is moving forward and the right one is moving in reverse, we're going to then, this would be a right turn. Okay, so we're going to start off though with 100 and 100. So that what that's going to do, as soon as you set it down after we upload the code, it's going to move the robot forward for an indeterminate amount of time. So in this case, if we just did this and we uploaded this program, it would just go forward forever. You then want to choose Control and choose Wait. Now this is where the adjustment between time and speed are going to take place. So if you want to move this thing forward by like 8 feet, well, if it's moving at 100, that's kind of a medium pace or just below medium pace. You're going to want to maybe have it move forward in this direction for 6 or 7 seconds. So I'm going to choose 7. So M1, M2, moving forward at 100 for 7 seconds. Once it does that, we want to turn, let's say we want to turn it right. And you choose set motor 2, and we're going to then, remember, you have to change M1 to M2. And we want to make a right turn. So the left track needs to go forward still, and the right one then needs to go in reverse. And again, here's where we have to sort of adjust for the speed at which the motors are turning. So we're going to wait approximately 1.1 seconds. And that's going to then turn. So this motor is going to go in reverse for 1.1 seconds. This one will stay forward 1.1 seconds. And hopefully we make a 90-degree turn. It's kind of a guess. So this is where your estimation skills are going to have to come into play. And then we're going to move forward M1, M2 at 100 again. And we're going to go forward for not an indeterminate amount of time, but let's see here. Just go forward for 5 seconds. And then once we've gone forward for 5 seconds, we're going to shut the motors off and it will stop. So all we're doing is moving forward for a few feet, making a right turn, and then moving forward for a few feet and stopping. Now the interesting thing about this is that this is drag and drop. There are some selections over here that you cannot choose and still have it work with the robot. Very specific programming has to go into the robot. So for the most part, you're going to use control and robots. And then once you've done that, you actually click on it. So we're going to left click just right here under the E and set. And then the source code comes up. Now we're going to talk briefly about the source code. Okay, so here we have the different boards that we're going to include. And you see it says we have the Me Orion, that's our board. And then we have some variables and some other information about angles and degrees here. We're most concerned with this. This is the variable for the left motor, and then this is the variable for the right motor. So when you see and this is where our code is going to run. So when it says void setup, this means that we're just going to run through the code one time. If this were void loop, it would run through the code multiple times. So in our case, we're going to set the left motor to run at 100, and that's just the speed that the motor is going to turn. And then we're going to delay it. You see it says 1,000 times 7. Well, 1,000 is a second, so half a second would be 500. And in this case, we're multiplying 7 times 1,000. We could change this to 7,000. Oh, it's not going to let me. I'd have to edit it with Arduino IDE. You could just write this as 7,000. And then after 7 seconds, we're going to run the left motor for 100 at the speed of 100, and then the right motor at negative 100, so it's going to reverse. And so this is where the turn happens, and we're going to do that for 1.1 seconds. You see that here. And then, again, we're running the motor for 100 for 5 seconds, and then we're going to shut the motors off. See, it says 0. All right, so this is going to be all we're going to do is wherever we put the robot down, turn it on, it's going to move in forward direction, and then turn right for a period of time, and then move forward from there. And so this is how we're going to start to work with Spark and the programming language C++, which in some ways is similar to Python. The architecture is very similar, but like I said, the syntax is a little bit different. But for now, we're going to begin programming this guy with the drag and drop method, and then we'll just click upload to Arduino after we connect the actual robot to the serial port or the communications port. And so later on Monday, I'm going to tape out an obstacle course, and you guys are going to have to figure out how to steer him or her. I don't know. Is he a him? Spark? It's an it. You're going to have to steer it using the drag and drop method here that I've outlined and drive him along the course. And then later on Tuesday, I'm actually just going to give you source code, and you are going to have to write the code similar to this and steer him, or it, I should say, around on the floor in a pattern. So that concludes today's lesson. I hope you guys had a good time. Feel free to hang out in mBlock for the rest of class and make your sprite. You can design your sprite however you want. If you want to have your sprite attack a banana that's running from it, that's fine. Or if you want to have a lemon flying around, like some individuals in this class probably do, you can do that. Otherwise, I hope you have a good rest of your day and enjoy your weekend. And I hope your day is filled with lots and lots of healthy technology.